When my children were young, my parents who lived in Louisiana would, as often as they could, come over to try to spend some time with them because they didn't get to spend the time with their grandkids or be as involved in their lives as they would have liked to be. So one time when my son Brett was about 4 years old, my mom and dad drove over from Louisiana. And so my dad wanted to buy Brett a kind of a special toy. He wanted to spend some money on him because he wanted to give him something special from his big pawpaw and his mamaw. And so I remember us going to a toy store, and my dad began to take Brett up and down the aisles, and my dad would point out these pretty expensive gifts, and he would say, "Would you like something like this?" And he was so excited, wanting to do something really special for Brett. And so somewhere along the way, Brett got fixated on this little, inexpensive, really just cheap doodad of a toy. And in spite of everything my dad could do, he could not get Brett's attention off of that toy. He would say, "Well, what about this? We could buy that, but that's not all that special. What about this?" But no matter what Dad said, Brett had made his mind up. He wanted this little toy. And I'll never forget sort of the body language of my dad when I could see that he's finally resigned himself to the fact that he was going to give Brett what he asked for. He wanted to do so much more, but he gave him what he asked for. And I think, what an example of how I think God must feel about you and me. The Bible says in Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20, "Unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us." God is able to do super abundantly above all that we could ask or even imagine, but we often ask for so little. God is limited far more by our asking for too little than for too much. So ask God today to guide you in what great things he wants you to ask him for. Prayer is the means by which God does great things through your life.